sometimes customers are not happy for whatever reason, like a dryer, Larry.
Absolutely.
And we talked about that in your store. People say, oh, my clothes didn't dry. And I noticed when Maurice was at my store, we had a complaint, oh, my clothes are not dry. Maurice actually grabbed a couple quarters out of his pocket, put it in and tested the dryer. And when you're giving like that, you know, whether it costs you a quarter or 50 cents, those people remember and they like to come back. And I know when I had situations that I didn't handle right, it smacks you in the face. And talking about those dryers and putting an extra quarter just to make a customer happy, I would fight with the customer. I would say, miss, let me put a quarter in. I'm short, and I would put a quarter in. I'd make her feel uncomfortable, and then there's other customers in the store listening to how you're handling the customer. And I would say, let me try it with the wrong type of attitude. I'd put a quarter in, wait 3 minutes, feel the metal dry, and say, miss, you see it's working correctly. But you know what? It goes a long way. I spoke to someone in the motel industry, and when he'd have a complaint, he would let the people stay for free in the room because he didn't want bad press. And in the laundry, people are watching. And I sometimes learn the hard way. And Larry, you've had experiences like that yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely, right? Absolutely.
And how do you turn that negative into a positive?
Well, you know, I think essentially what you're looking to do, you know, when I worked in the manufacturing end, we used to have a sign that hung over a time clock as you came in each day.
Right.
And it used to say, in our business, the customer is the king. And I think you'll find that that is really applicable to any business. Customers either put you on a positive path where you will have a great deal of growth, or they can put you on a negative path and literally destroy your business.
Interesting. Yeah.
Essentially what you want to do is you want to create a situation where a customer comes into your store, feels happy, feels that they're in a warm place, and that when something does go wrong, that you don't answer them as if you're making them feel inferior. You want to somehow show them that possibly there's a different way for them to do what it is that they're doing that'll be more productive for them and get them out of the store quicker. And yet you're not speaking to them in some sort of condescending manner where you're making them feel that they don't know what they're doing.
Definitely. I've made that mistake many times. You're 100%.
I've had situations where a customer said their clothes didn't wash properly, their clothes didn't dry properly. I'll make suggestions occasionally. I will say to them, listen, maybe on your dryer, maybe you had a little bit too many clothes in the dryer. You know what? Why don't you split it? I'm going to throw $1 in the 2 machines for you. See if your clothes come out differently. See, you know what? You'll get out of the store a little quicker, a little faster. It's not all about putting everything in one machine because the clothes that are in the middle are going to take longer to dry.
Right.
So sometimes I'll offer little tips.
Right.
Washing in terms of, you know, a customer will come over to me. Well, I don't understand, Larry. I put the same cup of soap that I always put in the machine. I said, but you know what? You're washing a blanket now. You're not washing clothing. The blanket doesn't need as much soap as a load of clothing does. So I'll restart the machine for them and I'll say, you know what? Let me put a little softener in and let's see how the blanket comes out now. And they'll say to me, you know, I never knew that. I just figured if I used a small machine, I needed a cup. If I used a large machine, I needed 2 cups.
So what you're saying is some customers that come in need some education. And even if they do know how the machine works, they're looking maybe for something or maybe they had a hard day, they wanted to be treated.
Absolutely. And you have to do that in a way that you're making them feel important and you're not trying to get across your point in an indignant manner.